There's this idea that I brought up in previous videos, and I want to talk about it here because it never sat right with me. And the idea is, who are we really? Like, when you want to describe yourself, how would you describe yourself? Like, is like your physical body a part of you, or do you believe in the soul, or do you believe in just the mind, or do you believe in all three? Right. And I'll give you some perspective and ideas to make you think a little deeper. So, one thing that's bothered me even since high school was that, think about like eating a meal. Think about your favorite meal, like a steak or something like that, right? When you eat the steak in different days, some days it tastes better. Some days it doesn't taste as good. Some days it tastes really good. And some days it just tastes like every other day, right? Who decides that, right? Like, who decides how it tastes that day in particular? Because you don't decide it, because if you did, you'd make it taste great every day. I mean, if we're assuming like this is the same steak and you're eating at a place where they can replicate it well enough, but you're having different experiences day by day, I, it's kind of like, who decides that, right? Like, what part of you is not in your control? So I came up with this idea with, and it's been spoken about before, so it's nothing new or anything like that. But it's this observer and a responder. So you have the observer, which is this your consciousness. I would say it's the one that makes the second guessing. It's the one that makes the final decision. It's the one that thinks. But you also have this responder. And I'll describe this responder in a different analogy too. Think about like a crush. I remember back in high school, middle school, elementary school, I would have these crushes, and it were so irrational. Like, I didn't choose her. Like, she may not even be the most attractive in the class, but for some reason, I just really want to be around her. And I never really thought much into it. I thought it was just like the way life is. But now when I think back, I'm thinking like, who decided those crushes, right? How do they work? And we have them today. Sometimes I'll have a crush for like a week, 2 weeks, and they could be irrational. Um, but I don't decide it. Me, who I think I am, don't decide it. And this brings me on to another idea of biology, right? Are we just like a are we just biology, or are we like some gifted consciousness that shouldn't have happened, that just happened to use biology as a platform to survive? I don't know if that's the proper way to put it, but it's like your body tells you to do things that you may not be totally in tune with. Sometimes you're hungry when you don't want to be hungry. Sometimes you really got to use the restroom or something when you don't want to. So your body is kind of, it is you, um, but in a way you don't control a lot of the things about your body, which is very weird, right? It makes you question a lot of things, like how much control we really have. If you've been watching a lot of my previous videos, I talk a lot about identity, and this is just another topic into it. It's really just hard to say who we really are. Like, if someone asks you to perfectly describe who you think you are, I mean, would you include the body? Are you the observer? Are you the observer and responder? Like, what do you think? Right? It's a real question, because, in my opinion, I think we're all in one. I think, and I think this way because I'm I'm more atheistic. If you're like a religious person, you may think like the soul is you, right? But I think that it's all in one. I think we may just happen to be biology with a gift. We've been gifted um, this ability to experience life and reflect on ourselves and have individuality. I think that's who we are. It's just individuals. We may have flaws, but we also have good traits. But our flaws and good traits, a combination, is what makes us who we are. And you kind of decide who you're gonna be, right? You get dealt a hand, but you can decide what you do with that hand. But yeah, I mean, maybe you guys have put some thought into this. I've I've looked into it, and I haven't really found any answers because I don't think there is many answers, right? Because now I feel like I have an observer to my observer. So not only do I have someone making decisions and weighing options and considering what's going on in my life, I now have a person judging how I make the decision inside my head. So it's kind of like you start thinking like which version of you is the real you, right? Maybe the responder is the real you. Maybe your primitive wants are the real you, right? It's hard to argue for any one of them because it's just we don't really have any grounds to say this is like the most true answer, right? But I mean that's all I got to say today. I mean, just another identity topic video. Um, Hard to say who we are. That's all I got to say. Thank you guys again. Once again, we're posting a video a day, once a day for every day for the next year. I think we're around video 50, so we got over 300 more videos to do. Stay tuned, guys.